broken it again, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Today, it's time for a lift tour at University of Canterbury's main campus in the suburb of Ilam in Christchurch. We will start off in the more southern end of the campus at Hight, which I think is the latest addition to the campus. There's two lifts here, and we'll start off with the south lift, lift 74, which is the Schindler 3300 AP MRL from 2019.
Doors closing. Elevator is going up. Floor 2. Door is opening. Doors closing. Elevator is going down. Floor 1. Door is opening.
Now we will go to the north lift, or lift 76, which is another Schindler 3300 AP from 2019. This lift is virtually identical to lift 74.
Doors closing. Elevator is going up. Floor 2. Door is opening. Doors closing. Door is opening. Doors closing. Elevator is going down. Floor 1. Door is opening. Doors closing. Door is opening. Doors closing.
Now we will head towards the Matariki building and ride a Jones Schindler platform lift numbered as lift 49. This lift doesn't have M series buttons, but I still I thought the fixtures were interesting because you don't see platform lifts like this every day. Anyways, let's ride this. Then we have the main lifts of Matariki, lifts 19 and 20, which were 1970s express lifts that have been modernized by Schindler with FIMXB buttons but FIMXV indicators because there's something between the two lifts. There's two sets of call buttons. Now we head to the tallest building on the campus named Puaka James Hight. But first, we will ride lift 65 in the library, which is a Schindler 3300 MRO with FIGL fixtures. And this one is glass. We head into the main tower now, but first, we look at an inaccessible Otis region from 2021 that replaced the black button Otis. Unfortunately, I don't have any photos of this lift. Our first public lifts in the tower are two 1970s Otis Lixon high-speed lifts, but they've been modernized in the 90s with red Acme indicators and concave buttons. However, though, they're being modernized at the moment with SIG by Otis, and by the time this comes out, lift 14 is finished, but lift 13 is being modernized by Otis. So this isn't a last chance to see. The lift I rode is already gone and probably in the scrap by now. Anyways, let's show the video of these lifts. Now to the lifts opposite lifts 13 and 14, which are lifts 11 and 12. These are also exactly the same as what lifts 13 and 14 are. So these are Otis Lixins that have been modernized with red acme and concave buttons. But this time, by the time it comes out, these lifts are probably gonna still be here, but they will be modernized eventually. Now we head to the Jack Erskine building, which has two 1990s Otis Series 1 lifts. But however, these have been modernized by Otis with beeping blue concave buttons and blue native indicators. I did find an old photo of these lifts when they were original on Google Maps. Anyways, let's ride them. Now we go to the West building, which is right next to the Jack Erskine building, and we head to lifts 3 to 6, which were 1960s express lifts that have been modernized by Schindler with M series. But outside we have the calculator indicators, but inside we have the normal red indicators. Chime sounds a bit knackered, but for some reason I like it when it sounds like that. The call buttons are pretty rare looking, but I don't know if they were original or not. Anyways, let's ride these. There is a hidden dumbwaiter lift 7 north of the west building, which I cannot ride. And again, unfortunately, I don't have photos of this lift. Now we head to the Angus Tate building, which houses lift 67. It has a Garaventa hydraulic lift from 2014. Even though this lift is 11 years old, it's already facing problems, like the lift is squeaking both directions and even made a boing-like noise on the way down. So yeah, this is probably the worst lift on the campus, unfortunately. But anyways, let's have a look. Yeah, this lift sucked. Now we go to the Mere building, which has two 1993 Jones Schindler lifts. I do have a photo on Google Maps, as you can see on the screen, but in the 2020s, I think it was, they've been modernized with Dewhurst by Schindler into 6500s. They have cool cancel, which is nice. They have two separate cool buttons for some reason though, even though the two lifts aren't different, and they're on the same controller. How weird. After that, we have the Karl Popper building, which houses lift 27. This lift was a 1980s Otis Lexan traction lift that has been modernized by Otis with Dewhurst on the inside, but outside there's more modern concave buttons with red segmented indicators. Unfortunately, the inside Dewhurst is pretty worn out. Anyways, let's ride it. Next, we have the Anne Bellin building, which houses lift 21, and the lift in here was a 1970s express lift that has been modernized in 2016 by Schindler with Dewhurst. Unfortunately, it doesn't have cool cancel like Mede does, but for some reason the buttons are all distant apart for some reason. Also, bad news, fake Kone lanterns, but something interesting about this lift is the Tadeo voice that technically counts as a floor passing chime. If this lift was slower, it would make sense, but I do like it. It's just it skips one of the announcements, like either level 5 or 6. Anyways, let's ride it.
Level 2, Papa Tuarua. Level 3, Papa Tuatoro. Level 4, Papa Tuawha. Level 6, Papa Tuauno. Level 7, Papa Tuawhiti. Level 6, Papa Tuarua. Level 5, Papa Tuarua. Level 4, Papa Tuawha. Level 3, Papa Tuatoru, Level 2. Papa Tuarua, Level 1. Papa Tuatahi.
Next door is lift 47 inside the psychology building. This lift is a Schindler M series traction lift from 1997. However, though, it has the calculator indicators and it has high-pitch NZ style chimes. Now we head to lift 36 in the forestry building. This lift is a 2000 Schindler M series hydraulic lift, and that's all I'm going to tell you because I'm going to leave the rest to you as a surprise.
we're going.
Oh, are you going up?
Yes, sir. Yep. Thank you.
Now we head next door to the Macmillan Library, which houses Lift 37. Lift 37 is a 2000 Schindler M Series hydraulic with green segmented indicators and in-use lights above the buttons. However, though, I don't know about the state of this lift, since you can only put 2 persons at a time apparently, since it has issues. Now we're going to go into the Rehua building and film and ride lifts 33 to 35, which are Otis Series 1 traction lifts that have been modernized by Schindler, I think, with Dewhurst and LCDs. These also have fake Kone lanterns, but they don't chime. These lifts have a tiny window, but I don't really count these lifts as scenic. Anyways, let's ride these lifts. Now we're going to go into the Jane Soons building, which houses lift 24. The lift in here was another express lift that has been modernised by Schindler with blue Dewhurst and LCDs. However, something different about this one is that there's actually blue backlights, and this one also has cool cancel. Now we're going to go into the Beatrice Tinsley building, or the Julius von Haas building, which has lift 1 and 2, which are Otis Gen 2s from 2015 with concave buttons and, these segmented indicators instead of step buttons. Our next lifts are in the Ernest Rutherford building, which are lifts 70 and 71. These lifts are Schindler 5500s from 2017, with linear fixtures. The lift on the right has no braille, but the lift on the left does have braille.
Elevator is going up. Door closing. Floor 5. Door opening. Elevator is going down. Door closing. Elevator is going down. Door closing. Floor 1. Door opening. Door closing.
Now we're going to go into the engineering and science complex. Our first lift is in the computer engineering, lift 28, which was 1980s Otis Lexon lift that has been modernized by Otis. The LOPs on the upper floors have V&M McGrath-like lanterns or GAL lanterns, but the one on the ground floor is actually 3200, which is the same indicators they use on a Gen 2, but it's been modernized with Dewhurst and LCD indicators inside, and of course all the buttons are Dewhurst.
First floor. Fifth floor. Fifth floor. First floor.
Now we're going to go into the civil engineering section, which has lift 32, which was a Otis Series 1 lift that has been modernized with Dewhurst by Otis, I think. These lifts had the original lanterns, but not the original indicators inside. For some reason, though, the lobby button is green, unlike the other buttons, which are actually blue. Now we go to the lift on the mechanical engineering, which is exactly the same as lift 32. But the lift numbered here is lift 31. So this is also an older series one that has been modernized with Dewhurst. So yeah, this is virtually identical to lift 32. Our next lift in this next big complex is in the science library, which is lift 62. This is another Otis Gen 2, just like lifts 1 and 2. Our last lift in the Science and Engineering Complex is lift 63 in the John Britton building. This lift is a Schindler 3300 MRL from 2009. This one has FIGL fixtures and this one chimes. My last lift I rode was in the LC Lock building, and the lifts in here were express lifts that have been modernized by Schindler with FIMXB buttons. These ones have the original cabin and have really nice door patterns on them. That's all the lifts that I filmed on the campus. However, though, there's one more lift on the campus that I couldn't ride because the building is closed down. This is the lift in ICT, which is lift 25, and it's a 1950s Otis Lixon. No, 1950s black button Otis, so it's modernised in the 80s with Lixon. I only got a video of this lift thanks to Westbourne World, so credit to him for the footage.